Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tiger Tank 12, however you want to call me. I don't really care. It's Advent Calendar Day 9. 50TP Prototyp is the vehicle that we're looking at today, and it's quite a treat. This was the first Polish Tier 8 premium tank, and I think also the only one that they released. It came out in the year 2018, and people were very excited for this vehicle because it plays very similar to the Defender. Its armor is very similar to the Defender. It also has the pike nose design, but the pike nose here, the lower plate is actually more flat, and it's easier to take care of than the Defender is. Also, the side armor is a bit lacking, especially if you look at the vehicle from the side, like this picture down below. You can actually shoot right through the track into the hull of the tank, which you can do with the Defender as well, but the Defender is not as exposed, I think, as this 50TP Prototyp is. Also, the viewport of the driver is a bit flat, and people with high pen or premium ammo will be able to take you out of the game with that place right there, because there is no real angling going on. People will be able to penetrate that. Keep that in mind, especially from the side. You're very vulnerable to incoming fire. The turret, on the other hand, is very heavily armored and is really good. It does have two cupolas on top, which are weak spots, but most of the time, I think, if they will fire at you, they will try to go for the lower plate, because the lower plate is quite large. Now, most of these characteristics, depending on armor, they just don't really sound very enticing, but there are some very nice things about this tank, and that being that it has a 122mm gun, which rivals the Defender's 122mm gun. The only difference is you have less pen on this vehicle. You have the same alpha, but you have better DPM. I think DPM was something along the lines of 1,830 versus 1,000. It was, I think, 1,830 versus 1,780 or something like that on the Defender. So this tank, definitely, if you like playing the Defender, you'll love this vehicle because it's the playstyle is almost identical. You just have to be a bit more cautious, because on the Defender, you don't have that driver's little port. You don't have that viewport, which sticks out like a sore thumb. But with this vehicle, you have that, and you have to be a bit more cautious when you're playing it. On the other hand, it costs you 9,900 gold. It certainly is quite a bit of fun, but I'm not really sure if I would go for it myself, because if you own the Defender, I don't know if you need this vehicle already or if you need it as well. If you're trying to go for Polish heavy tanks, this is obviously a very good crew trainer, has all the spaces, but it does just not have. It also doesn't have the best mobility. I think the Defender is a bit faster, if I recall correctly. But it has a very cool skin. It has the Hussar, the Flying Hussar skin, because it's a Polish tank. And I think that's really cool. But it's not included in this package, so you cannot get that. And 9,900 gold, which is almost 10 grand, 10,000 gold, is quite an investment for the 50TP Prototyp. I still think if you like the gameplay of heavy tanks, and especially Soviet heavy tanks, that hit hard, that have some very bouncy and fun armor, then I think the 50TP Prototyp will probably be up your alley. It does have some distinctive problems though, as I mentioned with the armor, but I think they're not problems. I think they're balancing points, and I think that is definitely the right way to go. It has a decent gun handling is good. I've heard that. I also played it a couple of times, but I haven't played it in a long time now. You can very easily pop shot when you're coming out of the cover, and it should work quite nicely. But either way, I personally, if I already owned the Defender, I would skip it. If I'm trying to go for the 60TP, this is a great choice to have. If you're a tank collector, you probably already own this tank. But for new players, if you had the Defender is probably still a bit better. This vehicle just has better DPM. I would pick the Defender over this, because the Defender's armor is really very, very ridiculous at the front. This tank does have very good armor, but just not on the same level as the Defender, but it's very similar in a lot of other aspects. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, have a good one.